Barbara.
And I'm Karen, and we're the Sink Sisters.
This is our tech bit on the new Google Forms 2016 advanced features.
Right, so Google Forms came out with a new version sometime within the past 6 months, and we did our first video on that, and it was just a huge success for us, for our channel. So we decided to come out with an advanced version. There were some features that are quite advanced that we didn't show on the first one, and there's also some features that were in the old forms that hadn't made it over to the new forms yet that are there. So let's get started.
Let's take a look.
What we're going to do here is we're going to start out in our drive. We like to do that. That's drive.google.com. You can, if you want, just start right off in the Forms home, and that would be forms.google.com.
Right.
But we like to do this. So we're going to go into, we have a sample form that we have set up. Okay. And we've given a little nod out to our new big audience, teachers, educators. They really like the forms, and they've really been watching our video, and we're so appreciative. So we decided to use a sample test or assessment for this video.
Perfect.
So thanks so much for watching. So first of all, I'm going to go over, the one thing is they've really made the commitment to the new forms now. So
when you go in.
It defaults to the new version. Now you can see down here, there still is the running man. If you want to click and go back to the old Google Forms, but why go back?
Don't do it. Just learn how to use the new one, because pretty soon that running man won't be there, and then you'll be sorry.
Then you'll be sorry. And I think it's a lot nicer. It's a lot simpler and cleaner. So there's just a few things that have come over that we wanted to start off with, that we did not show, and they're advanced. And what we want to do is, it's the more icon.
By question, right?
Yeah.
And what is the more icon? It's the three dots.
It's the 3-dot icon. And you can see what I've done here is if I click here, I'm highlighting a question. You can tell because it gets that little blue bar
showing the section of your question.
Where you are.
Okay.
This more icon, you can see there's another more icon up here, but that's a different submenu.
We'll be looking at that later.
So I'm going to click on this. Now, this, and then it's going to bring up more features that you can do. And this will be different depending on what type of question it is.
And this is a short answer text question. So these are the options for short answer text. And what do we have?
The first one is description. I'm going to click on that. Now, for those of you old form users, this is your help text, which, you know, it was missing at first, and then it took me a while to figure out it was there, and I've been missing it. What it is if you type your question up here, or whatever, and then down here you can write some text that will do further description.
A more lengthy description than your question. Because didn't you say that the question header are the headers in the spreadsheet?
So you want to keep those as short as you can. But I want to show you it does some nice formatting too. So I just typed something in, and I'm going to go here. And see this, the question is bigger, and then this is a little smaller. A little subtext.
That is nice. Enter work email. I like that. Okay.
Then, oops, I'm going to go back up to this question. The next thing under the more icon for this question is data validation. Hoorah!
Hoorah!
And what does that mean?
What does it mean?
We're excited because we know what it means, but perhaps you don't. It means you're going to create parameters around what the person is answering to make sure they answer they put in the right data for you. So they're validating the data that they put in.
Because you don't want to get back a bunch of emails that are wrong, and then you have to try to figure out what the heck did they mean.
So you can control this. So in this sample that we're doing, we have an email, and I'm going to go down here, and here's your parameters. Number, text, or regular expression. So I'm going to pick
text.
Text. Okay. And then contains an email address. Okay. And when I first did this, I thought, well, what does that mean? Well, it knows, and you'll see that it needs to be a proper email address. Okay, and here's a custom error text. It has set errors that it'll come up with, which I think are pretty nice.
With the email, it was perfect.
But if you wanted to type something in here, I'll show you where it shows up. Okay, so we have those data validation parameters set up. So I'm going to go and
preview your form.
I'm going to take it.
Okay.
So I'm going to try to fill in something that is not.
Well, look, right away when you start typing, it tells you it must be a valid email address. So she's got the @ sign. It's still not valid till you get that .com or .net or...
I'm going to try it. Look, see, it's still saying it's invalid. until
the .com.
Yeah,
or
and I'm sure you can put,
.net.
well, yeah,
of course,
it has
yeah.
to be.
So dot and then
Right.
3 digits after. I don't know that it's looking at com and net very closely.
No.
Try it.
See,
yeah.
I don't have the @ sign in there.
Right.
So this is good. It saves you a lot of time, people filling in email addresses that aren't correct.
Right.
So we like that, and you can do that. You can do that with phone numbers. You can just go crazy.
Right, and there was another under email address URL. So maybe
Yep.
if someone has to enter their website, it has to be a valid URL.
Right. Yep.
You know, that kind of thing.
So that's a great feature.
Wonderful feature.
And like I said, that little more icon by question changes depending on what question you're on. So I'm going to click on a different type of question. This is a multiple choice.
Multiple choice.
I'm going to go look at the more
Smith
icon.
Family. The Smith family drove 300 miles every day for 4 days.
We already had it on.
We already had it on. Okay.
You can see here we have the description.
Right.
So that's nice. Oops.
You can put a description
That's what I meant to do.
Yeah.
So that's good. That will be on any question. Right. Then on this one we have go to section based on answer.
Oh, that's nice.
Okay, what does that mean? I'm gonna turn it on. So it means continue to next section.
So depending on what they answer, each one of the options, the answers, you could send them to a different place.
Right.
In this question, it wouldn't matter, but
what would be a good example? If you had a question,
for example, we're doing a seminar coming up, and we want to know if people have an iPad, what kind of iPad do they have, and so on. Now, so we might ask, do you have an iPad? If they say no, we'll have them skip the next question.
Right, because the next question will be what
kind of iPad
version do you have, and
right.
things like that.
So anything conditional that you can think of, you can do.
So you can do all these different parameters, which is great. So, and then this one, shuffle option order, okay?
This is nice too.
Now, you might remember from our first video, under settings here, you can do shuffle question order, which is great for teachers and test taking and things like that, because if you have 2 students on computers next to each other, you can have the questions appear in random order to deter cheating. Well, now this, but down by the question here, is shuffling the options within the question.
Which is great.
Further, deterring cheating, I guess.
Right, exactly.
So that's the little more icon by question. So click on your question and it will, be different depending on what it is.
That's great.
So the next thing that is something new to the new Google Forms is if I click on responses, and I'm going into my responses, with this summary of responses, of course, was new. And we showed this in our
and that's
last
all
one.
we had as an option here was the summary.
Charts and the graphs and everything. Now what you'll notice is it's summary and individual. So if I click on that, this is great. This will show you the individual responses, and what it shows you are the questions and what the person filled out.
Yeah, that's nice.
Yep.
That's nice.
So this is a great thing for a test, right?
And how can you navigate through them?
Right here, you see 1.
Yep, there's your second one.
3, yep. So this is very useful, I think.
And you can print them right from here or delete them from here too.
You can print your responses.
Right. So if you've been, printing is great. And then if you've been entering test data or something, you want to delete a few responses that you've put in, you can do that.
Yeah, that's a good thing,
Yeah.
And you can delete just this response, which is nice.
Which is very nice. Right.
Because up here, you can delete all of them. Which brings us to our next new advanced feature.
Okay.
Is the more icon up here. See, now there's a lot of more icons, right?
They're everywhere. More.
But you see, before we were in the questions, now we're in responses.
Okay.
So they're up here. Okay.
Okay.
Now this is new. Get new email notifications for new responses. Now this is great. I mean, everybody wants email notifications. I mean, I do a lot of surveys at my volunteer job. At school, a job. They should pay me.
It is a job.
And I always want email verification.
You want to know
notification, right?
You want to know when somebody did it.
What this does is, if I'm going to turn it off and then I'll turn it on again, I'll show you. If I turn it on, you'll notice down here, email notifications enabled.
Okay.
Now it's very simplistic. All it does is send somebody an email that says, or sends, not the person, sends me, the creator of the form, that someone filled out the form.
Okay. And how do they know, how do you tell them where that goes? It just goes to your email? you as the creator?
This is very limited.
Very limited.
This is just, you can't have it sent to anyone else.
Okay. Okay.
This will just be
to the creator of the form.
Yep. So there's nothing you can customize. You can't customize. Well, it's just going to you. You don't really need to customize what it says.
Right.
It doesn't say who filled it out and what they filled out or anything.
Oh, it just says there's a response.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's nice.
Better than nothing.
And then it has a link to your response spreadsheet. You can go check it out.
Sure.
So it's nice. Very simple. We do have more advanced features we'll be showing you in a little bit.
In an add-on. Yeah. Right.
Then this is nice. The select response destination.
Okay.
Click on that. This brings up the linking to the response spreadsheet, which we covered in the first video. And this is nice because in the old version, it was a little glitchy. It's linking with its spreadsheet. It was very sensitive.
Okay.
So this is nice. Once you've already set up the spreadsheet, you can change it. Well, I want to pick a different one. I could go.
Oh, that's nice.
And pick a different one.
Okay, that's nice.
Yep. So that is a good feature.
And it'll just append the answers to the end of the spreadsheet as more responses come in, right? That's really great.
And then, we haven't really, I'm going to create a spreadsheet. Great. To show you it better, okay?
Okay.
I'm not going to go into the spreadsheet, though.
All right.
Select response destination is going to this spreadsheet. So that tells you where it's going. And then you can change it. Okay, got it. Or, it's really nice, you can just unlink it. Oh. Which before was kind of a hard thing to do. If you wanted to, say again, like you were doing a lot of test responses, maybe you just want to unlink it to that. And then set it up to a new response. Okay, and where does the data go? Does it disappear then if you delete that spreadsheet, or? No, it's very nice. Even though a form doesn't have a spreadsheet linked to it, the data stays within the form. So the minute you link a form to a spreadsheet, it'll show up. That's great. Yep. That's great. And then this is download responses .csv, which what does that mean? Comma separated values, which is a pretty common basic way of sharing data on a computer. So maybe there's another program you need to port this information over to and they accept a CSV file. Right. That would be a reason to do that. Yep. And then this, you can print all the individual responses again. Okay. And we did have a question on our YouTube channel under the first video of how do you print the summary. Okay. The responsive summary. Currently, there is no way to print this. Okay. So we suggested you could do screen grabs and print, or you could just print from your browser. Yeah. You might have some side stuff you don't like, but that's the way you can do that. Yep. So that's this more icon, or you can delete other responses. Just another way. That's nice if you've been testing your form that's where you do the testing. Yeah. Then you would delete them all. That's awesome. So there. Okay. So now we're going to take a look at another feature that's come over. Yeah, the way it looks. It's another feature that's come over, and it's called templates. Templates. Okay. Lovely templates. And the way you find templates is at your forms homepage. Yep. So I'm clicking the left arrow back, and this is just forms, not our drive. This is just where our forms live. Down here, it's showing recent forms that we've worked on. Here is starting a new form, and if I click this More button here, it's going to show me more templates. Right. So here we have the ability to pick a custom template. There aren't a ton of them, but it's better than none. So and they're pretty comprehensive samples of questions you might set up, so it saves you some time. Right. So you can get started and then you can customize it. So there's a party, there's an RSVP, there's event registration, evaluations, so on and so forth. So you just decide which one you want, you click on it. So let's bring up a course evaluation because we'll be... Go teachers. Yeah. So here we go. And this is basically... class name, instructor, level of effort, and so on. So it's a nice way to start off whatever you're doing. Right. And it automatically, once you open the template, it automatically saves it to your drive. That's perfect. It saves it to your drive. You can go in and rename it at that point if you want to. You just click up here if you want and rename it. Yeah. Okay. So those are templates. And then you can't create your own templates right now. No. Right. But you could, of course, create a form and then save it and then duplicate it. But yes, right. Yeah. I'm waiting, Google, if you're listening. I'm waiting for custom templates, themes to come back. I
You
used
can
to be able to save a theme, which is basically to me like doing a template.
Right.
But we'll see. We'll be hopeful, right?
Right. It'll come.
But the templates are very useful, and they kind of get you started in what you're doing.
Right. Yep. And show you some examples of things you can do as well. Take a look at them and see what kind of questions people are coming up with. Now,
the next advanced feature that is really one of my favorite features about Google Forms and is add-ons. And this is available, add-ons are available in Forms, Docs, and Sheets.
Okay.
And what they do is they add functionality to your form, which is nice. So they can keep the basic Forms program lean and mean and functioning for everybody. And then you can customize and add in things that you want.
That's perfect.
So what you do is you go to this more icon.
I'm going to get so confused with these.
Yeah.
More icons. All right.
So I'm going to click on that. And you go down, and here you go. You see add-ons, and it's got a little puzzle piece.
All right.
Now, once you've done an add-on, put an add-on in, you will see the puzzle piece up here.
All right. So if you don't see the puzzle piece, don't panic. You got to go to the More menu and start off with your first add-on.
If I click, I can see all the forms that I have, right?
Right.
Or the add-ons.
Right.
So I'm going to go ahead and do the add-on.
So this is like the add-ons store.
Yes.
But it's not a store because they're free.
Right.
At least at this point. They're free. Yes. And here they are.
So the add-ons are something that anyone can develop. You could develop it and then just get it. We're going to show you with scripts later on in a minute. And then get it approved by Google, and it'll go on the store.
Right.
So here we are, and you can see we've got a bunch of forms.
All right.
I keep calling them forms.
Yeah. Functionality.
Right.
So
they had all sorts of functionality.
We're going to take a look at a couple of them.
Yeah. So what we've done is we've picked out some common ones that most people would use. Now, the first one I'm going to do is form notifications. Okay. There was that little feature we showed you that would send you an email saying someone's signed up, but it's pretty limited, right?
Pretty limited.
We want to get more advanced with email notifications.
So let's add form notifications.
Yeah. So first of all, let me show you, notice there's no check mark here. If I go down, see this one has a little bit green check. That means I've installed it.
Okay, awesome.
So this one I haven't, so it's free. I'm going to click on that.
It's going to come up.
It's going to bring up all the things that,
You have to give it permissions. Yep. Whenever you do anything in Google, this form may need to send you an email and view your files and so on. So you have to say, okay, and just allow it, because if you don't, you won't be able to use it.
Right. If there's something you don't like about it, then you won't be able to use it.
Right, exactly.
So now I'm going to go to my little forms icon. Oh, that comes up. Configure notifications to configure email notifications for this form. You could learn more. It's a great way to research the add-on.
We'll just say got
it, because we're the teachers here, right?
Yeah, you've already done it.
So here we go.
But now we have three things.
Yep, form notifications. Okay. So with any add-on, you're going to come and there'll be a box and it'll say configure notifications. Usually there's a help too, which is nice if you need to explore more.
Right, or about, like you can't remember what that one was. You can look at that.
So with this particular add-on, you can either notify me, the creator, or I'll show you anyone. Notify me or notify respondents. Okay. Or both. Let's start with notify me.
All right.
My email address, comma separated, which means you could do multiple people.
A group.
And it doesn't have to be the creator of the form.
Okay.
So that's nice. You can customize this. Then the next thing is send notifications after every 10 emails is the
responses.
Default.
Right.
Is the default, but you can change that. So kind of nice. You're not going to get, if you have hundreds of people signing up.
Right. You might want to get every 50 or something. Right.
So that's pretty, a little more advanced. And then notify respondents. Do that. First thing is ask you which question asks for their email.
Right, because it needs to know. Right, it needs to know where the email is.
Yep. And then you can write a subject.
Yep.
This is the default, but you can write whatever you want. And then you can write a little message in the body. Thanks for filling out the test. I'll have grades to you in a month, or well,
that'd be a bummer.
Whatever. In a couple days.
Be grading this as soon as I can. Yeah.
And then you would save it.
Perfect.
So that would be then it would be applied.
That's a great feature. That's a really nice feature.
It is nice. So now if we go back into our add-ons, there are quite a number of them that we wanted to go over to let you know about that are good ones.
Right.
So there's form notifications, and then which was a step above what is already available in Google Forms.
Right.
Then you can go even a step farther to confirmation emails, which is an add-on that not only will send the person an email that, hey, thanks for filling out our form, it will show them what they filled out for.
Oh, that's nice.
Yep.
That's
a
nice.
confirmation to them, and it'll also email to you a confirmation of what they filled out.
Great for us for having people sign up for seminars and classes.
Yes.
Because it'll show you signed up for this seminar.
Yep.
This is the food choice you had. This is the equipment you said you had, and away we go. That's great.
And you can there's also some other advanced features to the add-on that you can read about, and it gets quite great. And another one that we want to look at, this one I like a lot, form limiter.
Okay.
Okay.
What does that do?
This one will limit, it'll shut it off after a maximum number of responses. So it's perfect for like we have a lot of seminars. And so we use form limiter when,
we can only have
30 people signed up.
Right.
That will send them an email that says, we're sorry, it's, closed.
Right. Or a date and time, which would be great for teachers when they tell children or students that they have to take a test by a certain date.
Yep.
If they try to do it afterward, it's going to say sorry.
Right. So it automatically shut it off on a certain date and time.
Right.
They won't be able to take it, so you don't have to remember to go in and do it.
Right. Perfect.
So, So form limiter is a good one. And then going a little bit even more into that is choice eliminator.
Oh.
What this one does, I love this one, is that once someone, this is great for signups, for like volunteer signups or anything like that. Once someone has filled out that spot or taken it, it goes away.
Oh, that's
so the next person that goes there
won't see it. So if they're like, "Where's the Christmas party?" Sorry, it's full.
Yeah.
Someone already picked it.
Yep. Someone's already volunteering.
Yep.
So that's a very useful one.
That's very nice.
And then the last one that we wanted to show you is GMath. And this one allows you to put graphs, statistical displays in your multiple choice questions.
Yeah.
And complex
math directly in your form.
Directly in your form.
Something I wouldn't be doing.
No. No, but if you're a math teacher.
Right, exactly. That's great.
That's a really good one too. So those are, you can go through and read about them. Those were kind of our top 5.
Right. That's great.
Yeah, there are a lot of them. I think, sometimes they can be a little finicky, so you might want to, before you start using one in a serious situation, you might want to Google it and see what people are saying about it.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Things to be concerned with, and then maybe you can be on the lookout for those things.
Right.
But I think for the most part, they work pretty good.
Yeah, and I think Google probably does a pretty good job of checking them over and so on. But again...
But sometimes you don't know until... 5,000 people sign up for something.
Right.
If the add-on isn't going to work. Right. We don't have that many people, thank goodness, right?
So add-ons are really great, but what if you're looking to do something, a feature, and you don't see it in add-ons? Is there anything you can do?
There is. You can write your own add-on.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yes.
How do you do that?
Well, we're going to show you right now. You go to the more menu.
Another more icon.
Another more icon. This one is standing on its end, and it's up in the right-hand corner. You click on it, and we can pull down to Script Editor.
Right.
Right above add-ons. It's going to open a new window in your web browser.
Oh, how nice. It's like a program within a program. That's great.
It is. And it's called the App Script Editor. And it works across some of the Google apps.
Sheets and docs and forms, I believe. Yep.
And it uses JavaScript.
Okay, should I be scared?
Don't be scared. No, JavaScript is actually a very pretty easy coding language to learn, programming language, and it's kind of fun to use.
Right.
So if you know how to do JavaScript, you can just code away here.
Okay.
This will be familiar to you, and you can go ahead and create it.
And what if you're like me and you just really don't know?
Well, then you will come here to the help area, and you'll go to Getting Started.
Okay.
And they offer here a variety of information. Right. Okay. There's some great information here. Shows you how to add functionality to write your own script to do things like maybe you're going to have something that you want to show up on the side.
Okay.
Or you want a custom menu or
a custom
dialogue box or something. You can do it in here.
Oh,
or there's something you want to happen in the background that isn't happening.
Right. So this looks like, such a great resource, and I see all the quick start videos over there on the left.
Right, over here.
But, it makes me think of another great resource is our friends over at Google for Work, the YouTube channel, and they have that weekly show, the app show. Every Tuesday they come out with a little video on different Google Apps feature, and they have a really great one on getting started with app scripts and add-ons.
Right.
So we have an annotation below. Go visit them, or we also have a link in our description.
Right. So Google Forms has come a long way. They keep adding functionality to the program, and of course with add-ons and with script writing, you're able to add even more functionality.
Well, have fun with your forms.
Thanks for watching the Sync Sisters Tech Bit.
And please subscribe to our channel.